More COVID-19 restrictions, including for restaurants and casinos, will be eased today. Coming up, how the health department says it will monitor the progress.
And learn why gym owners across the state say those businesses should be allowed to reopen now instead of waiting for phase 2 of the governor's gradual reopening plan.
Welcome back. Just ahead of 6:30, your Monday edition of Montana This Morning. Caitlin Corbett, Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell. How's it going to be out there for our May the 4th weather?
May the 4th be with you. It's going to be good. Here, take a look at our forecast. I've got the May the 4th forecast for you. I have to hit the hyperdrive. Yep, there we go. We're almost there. Forecast, return of the sunshine. That's a play on words.
I love that.
Yeah. Windy it is. That's our noon forecast. Nerf herder weather for the afternoon. I'm sure the kids are going to be out there. It's going to be a pretty nice day. Daytime highs into the 50s. We're just going to have a little wind as our force to reckon with for today. We'll, of course, talk more in depth about your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
And now it's time for some of the latest numbers on coronavirus cases in our state.
Yeah, according to the state health department, there are 455 confirmed cases. 404 people have recovered. Gallatin County still holding at 146 cases. Silver Bow is at 11. Madison County at 8. There have been 61 hospitalizations. Only 5 are currently active there. 16 people in the state of Montana have died from coronavirus. Latest Montana coronavirus numbers will be updated 10 o'clock this morning, and of course we will have that with you online. Also, Gallatin County Health Officer Matt Kelly is promising to keep a close eye on any new COVID-19 cases that might appear as the county eases restrictions. He says we do see cases begin to appear. There will likely be a delayed reaction because of the incubation period of the virus. Kelly says the delayed reaction makes it difficult to know the immediate impact new cases would have on reopening in Gallatin County.
And so as we started reopening on Sunday and Monday, we're really looking for the 7 to 14 day range to see what impact that's going to have on our epidemiology, on our healthcare system, on the number of cases we have, and some of the other metrics we're looking at. Another date that's significant is May 4th. That's the reopening of restaurants and bars. And we'll be looking again 14 days after that to see the impact of that.
Again, Kelly says the health department will also be monitoring how many people are being tested a day during phase 1. He says the health department would like to see the number of positive tests reported go to under 10%.
Have started a petition in an attempt to have Governor Bullock allow gyms to reopen under phase 1. A gym owner from Billings created the petition about a week ago and already has close to 5,000 signatures. MTN News spoke with the manager at Crossroads Fitness Center, a supporter of that petition. Crossroads says the gyms can implement the necessary safety guidelines to help prevent further spread of the virus. Changes include eliminating equipment to make sure clients are away from each other when working out. Owners also promise to mark floors to indicate proper social distancing and have temperature checks at the front door. These are some of the many things Crossroads says it and other gyms can do to reopen in phase 1.
Where do you go where you grab a sterilization bottle and sterilize your own piece of equipment? Only a gym. I have not seen anybody at this grocery stores or anywhere else sterilizing anything after I touch it. So I just feel like this is a safe place, sterile place to be.
And under the current plan, gyms aren't allowed to reopen until phase 2.
6:33 now on this Monday. The two candidates for the Democratic nomination for governor met for a debate Saturday night, expressed different ideas about what type of experience the next governor should have. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian was there and has a report.
The two Democratic candidates to become Montana's next governor have very different life stories and experiences, and both argue they're best qualified to hold on to the governor's office. Mike Cooney has spent years in public office, including as state Senate president, secretary of state, and now as lieutenant governor. He says he knows what it takes to get things done in the state.
My background, working in government, working in understanding the workings of government and the legislature, really lends itself to being an effective leader and being an effective manager of state resources. I'm very proud of my record.
Whitney Williams is a businesswoman from Missoula. She says while she doesn't have elected experience, her work has given her the skills needed to handle state government.
I just think we're at a point in our history where it's time for a new generation of leadership, and I just don't agree That government experience is the only experience one can have with budgets.
Williams criticized Cooney and the Bullock administration for making millions of dollars in cuts to mental health funding during a budget crisis, and argued they should have done more to support affordable housing. Cooney defended the administration's record, saying that working together with the legislature has allowed them to achieve priorities like Medicaid expansion and infrastructure funding. He said he's been a part of Democrats' recent political victories.
You know, the first rule of Montana politics, of governing and being a real leader, is showing up. And I'm the only candidate for governor who has shown up for the big fights Democrats have fought year after year.
Williams says her campaign is the one that's looking to the future.
The challenges ahead are unlike any we've seen in our lifetime. We don't need someone whose experience is inside government. Getting folks working again and helping businesses rebuild takes energy, new ideas, and a different kind of experience.
In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Meantime, the three Republicans running for Montana's governor met on Saturday in their only televised debate that featured all three candidates. MTN's Mike Dennison reports the face-off had more than its share of sharp exchanges.
As the debate opened, Congressman Gianforte said he's run a positive campaign and urged everyone to follow Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, speak no ill of a fellow Republican. But neither he nor Mr. Fox would toe that line this Saturday. Fox said as governor he'd be a leader who would bring people together and win in November, unlike, he said, Mr. Gianforte.
Congressman, it's clear that you were social distancing long before the pandemic hit. You ducked debates and forums, refused interviews with the press, avoided open public meetings and tough questions, and instead used your considerable wealth to try to buy this election instead of earning those votes.
Gianforte called Fox's attacks shameful.
Let me just say, Mr. Fox's behavior is shameful. It's shameful because he's trying to manipulate and use false statements to manipulate voters.
The winner of the GOP primary takes on the Democratic nominee this fall, trying to become Montana's first Republican governor in 16 years. Olszewski mostly avoided the firing line, but said he's the best choice for Republican primary voters because he'll follow the state party platform.
I'm the only one that's going to fight for our constitutional water rights and oppose the CSKT compact, which our Republican platform says that we Republicans oppose. I'm also the only Republican that is willing to oppose and repeal Medicaid expansion.
All three candidates said they oppose a statewide sales tax, but want to reduce or revise Montana's property and income taxes. Olszewski said he'd turn to other sources of revenue to cut property taxes.
First, what we do is we take and we disconnect public education, K through 12, off of our property taxes, and we find another way to pay for them. And like Wyoming, I would like to pay for public education through our natural resources, royalties, taxes, and revenues.
Gianforte often talked up his business experience and previewed a business plan he says he's still working on.
It starts with a top to bottom regulatory review. It also will focus on slowing the growth of state government and use any surplus that results to reduce taxes across the board, property taxes, income taxes, business equipment taxes.
Fox called Gianforte's plan without substance and noted he already has a 15-point plan for economic recovery up on his website.
I'm a unifier. I bring people together, and we need that in a post-COVID-19 circumstance.
This is still a three-man race, but from the looks of this debate, Fox and Gianforte consider each other to be their main primary opponent. Starting next week, GOP primary voters will start sorting it all out and choosing who goes forward into the general election. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Just as a reminder, state primary election day is June 2nd. Ballots will be mailed out to voters starting Friday, this Friday, May 8th. So look for those in your mail.
And seeing that was just another reminder of how different things are and how much things have changed. We have the all-mail ballots, and then we have a virtual debate with everybody in their separate little screen debating.
It is a crazy new time, Caitlin. It is definitely a crazy new time as you're sitting in your bedroom chatting with me here in the studio.
Yep, and my cat just hopped off my lap not too long ago, so.
Well, tell Gus I said hi in the break.
I will. I'm sure he'll make another appearance. He's kind of like lurking over in the corner there, so we'll see if he comes back. We are going to take a break now, but do you know what a murder hornet is? Well, the Asian invader is now showing up in Washington state, and it's pretty dangerous to humans. Coming up, find out the other threat it poses. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on CBS This Morning at 7.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, nice weather brought out the crowds this weekend. We'll talk about the risks of getting back to normal too soon as more states start to reopen. Also, first on CBS this morning, see how child welfare workers are putting their own health at risk to make sure that children in abusive homes stay safe during this pandemic. Plus, the race to fast-track a coronavirus vaccine. Our Dr. David Agus tells us when we might see the very first one. And World Cup and Olympic champion Megan Rapinoe joins us to talk about the latest setback in the U.S. women's soccer team's fight for equal pay. We'll see you at 7.